I've seen the passions raging over the last couple of days about Armor, about the rotation, and why it didn't happen. It seems it's cancelled. People are already building their theories. Today, I'll try to dispel many of the questions and answer them about why this happened and when we should expect the rotation. And, of course, first, I'd like to say hello. Hello, everyone. This is Sonia, and you're on the Distortion channel. Let's not drag this out for long. I just recommend subscribing to my social media, like Twitch, where I host live streams and answer many of your questions. And don't forget to drop by my Telegram channel, where we also discuss the latest news and updates. Let's get started. April is already here. Many, of course, like me, were expecting an update at the beginning of April, just like last year, and as always happens. Maybe some of you don't know, but our developers always go on vacation in April, and so many were expecting some kind of update at the beginning of April. They checked trackers, checked Twitter, watched the latest updates, but nothing happened. No, the Grav 2 beta update was released on April 2nd. That's awesome. Thank you. You can watch the video. We also reviewed it there. But many were expecting something to happen specifically with Armor, and when many saw that nothing was happening, people started worrying about what had happened. Why the developers hadn't added a limit bar, or simply removed something. Today, I'll try to explain what could have happened, why this is happening at all, and I'll explain that if, say, the update hasn't happened now, it's simply being delayed a bit, because the developers are on vacation. Anyone who actively follows the Telegram channel, or even reads any news portals, knows that there are usually few updates in April, because the whole team is on vacation. If you even look at previous years, thanks to SteamDB, you can see that Sony had the same year, 25, as the update just came out in April. And in April, nothing happened for us on April 1st. We had exactly the 31st, but the major update, the first fix, came out on the 31st. And you could say that nothing clear happened until the 20th. So in fact, this time, it should be exactly the same. We won't get the update until after the 20th. And this happens every year. Every year we see it. Every year we know it. So we hope that something will happen right around April. Maybe we look at last year. Copenhagen merchandise, champion capsules, came out on April 3rd, and only after the 16th did any assets start to appear. And even that was, you could say, a patch that just barely fixed the issues. The main major update above was on the 25th. You can, I'm telling you, track this almost every year, where this can be seen in 2023. There was exactly the same case. I'm showing you this so you understand what always happens with us. What if, in fact, in April, nothing happens at the beginning? Then everything is postponed until the end, when they'll just be back from vacation. Because now, in these last weeks and days, people are actively waiting for the update, checking checkers, just like I am with you in my Telegram channel, and discussing what's going on. We also check the developer's account if any information appears there, but we only find various hints in the game files that this is supposed to happen. But the fact that it didn't happen right away is, of course, sad. And against this background, of course, many are blowing it out of proportion, so to speak. How can you say that correctly? That it's the end? Nothing of the sort will happen. Guys, you waited a year to fix this. You can't wait 2-3 weeks for them to arrive. They'll remove it right away. But you see, the funny thing is, many are afraid they might just take it right away. Although what's there to be afraid of? It would be cool if they removed it unexpectedly for everyone. So what? No. That's exactly what many unexpected things could gain. But for some reason, I think they'll still be able to add it. And even if it's just a limit flag or this rotation, it will be short. Well, if they add a limit flag, then last time it was about 3 weeks. This time, I think it could be just 2 weeks or 10 days. So they'll do it quickly so as not to waste time, because we have Mir coming up, so to speak, in the summer, and in May we need to add the merchandise. I think things will move extremely quickly here. And I personally expect the rotation to start somewhere around the 20th to 25th. They'll be bringing it all in right around the end of the month, because even if you look at the paraphernalia now, how people are dumping a lot of stuff during the panic and selling, it looks really funny. It's good that a lot of panic mongers are dumping you. But on the other hand, the fact that people are dropping the price on so many items is, of course, scary. But on the other hand, I'm saying it's good for me that you can just snatch up a lot of items for next to nothing. Well, those who bought and followed the market understand what I'm talking about. Each of us is always looking for the best place to sell skins and buy new ones. Today I want to recommend the Lists website. Only there can you quickly and profitably sell your skins. The website has a very convenient sales system. Just paste your link in the top field, select the item you want to sell, and choose a convenient withdrawal method. You can withdraw to cards, cryptocurrency, or you can immediately use your balance, withdraw funds to your balance, and immediately spend this money on new skins. Instant withdrawal is also available on the website if you have a certain sales volume, of course. Box also has a large selection of skins. I think everyone knows this, and you can see it. Other Dota games are also available, and you can also buy something for yourself there. The site also has a convenient feature, such as the ability to buy many items in bulk. Simply specify the required quantity, and immediately buy as much as you need. And don't forget that the site offers better prices than, say Steam, if you compare and see where you can get something faster and more affordably. The site also has a convenient replenishment system. Simply enter the required amount, choose a convenient payment method from cards to cryptocurrency, and click Pay. So what's the wait? Let's go shopping on Elkins. And if you also look at taxes, you'll see the developer's activity. You can notice a lot of this, especially looking at past years, or now, like when we actually released an update on April 2nd. And even then, it wasn't public. Another key point I wanted to make is that all the updates that usually come out in April are all private, meaning they change something within the game files, but they're not publicly announced, as is usually the case with recent updates. And that's exactly what we notice and see. I can also say that it's possible that the rotation hasn't happened yet, because there may have been issues with the skins. Maybe there were some copyright issues, and now they're trying to resolve them and figure out a way out of this situation. Because I think it always happens that no skin gets accepted. There are always one or two items from the collection that look similar. Or maybe the situation is that, for those who don't know, a lot of guys from the CIS make skins, and they can't send alpha money to the CIS. And apparently, maybe they gave them time to resolve these issues, so that the skin creators could somehow find the codes to get paid for their work. But this is also theoretical, because many skin makers have given me these ideas and said that perhaps this is possible. But for some reason, I thought the developers themselves simply missed the deadline and had already decided, okay, so be it. And so here we are now, theorizing about what will be removed, when, and why. Because, in fact, my thoughts remain the same. They will be removed. I don't see the point in repeating them again. If you're paying attention, please write in the comments who I think will be removed, because I don't want to repeat myself and I don't want to drag out the video too much. But if you look at many situations right now, I'm talking about the market. There are really a lot of good deals popping up that you can snag at a really good price. Because if you look, for example, at the collections that people are selling really well, yes, it's not like some of the items are at rock bottom, but there are some collections that are trading at rock bottom and are already hovering around the bottom. And most importantly, there's liquidity, because people are actively selling and at the same time, actively buying. Those who were just trying to snag something for themselves. And this is observed both with stickers and breakers, but it's more noticeable with items that people think will be removed. But the Armory fluctuations themselves are reflected in the overall situation, you could say. These aren't the April prices of 2025, of course, but there's still this drop. And you see, another problem here is that there are too many of these waiting players. But thanks to this fluctuation, because nothing is being removed, many of these waiting players are dropping out. Because they see that there are no updates, the developers aren't releasing anything, it turns out they've screwed everyone. But no, you see, what's actually happening here is that many guys are trying to flip things and grab things against this backdrop. I'd say it's best to sell now. If you have positions worth 2x or 3x, that wouldn't be a mistake, because you'll basically make a quick buck off those panic mongers who are ready to dump something for a profit, and you'll also be able to wipe your ass with this session and dump it on those who want it. Buying is a last resort. Personally, I'm not buying anything in particular right now, because I'm either waiting for the rotation to happen, for something to be removed, and then, a couple of months later, buying on the rollback, or I'm just waiting to see what they'll remove, and then grab what's left in the game and what's going to fall in price. Basically, as I said, if they keep the train, or community stickers, or some old keychains, then that will, of course, go into the rollback. People will see that this is going to be with us for another 6 months, a year, until the next rotation, or whatever you want to call it. It will be possible to pick up something profitable against this backdrop, because, as I said, you can find some specific positions that interest people, because now they're pointing fingers, take this, take that. Then you'll say, why did you make me take this? Is it your fault, YouTuber, that I made you do this? No guys, with your own hands, websites like CSGO Skins and Price Empire will let you find out what's going on and which items are experiencing fluctuations. And, as I said, I hope the developers will release an update. I really want to believe it'll be around the 23rd or 25th. So it could actually happen that there will be a rotation next week, but if I'm wrong, I'd be thrilled if they release an update this week. But, as I'm saying, I looked through the entire log up to 2016, and I saw that, in fact, nothing usually comes out until April. Well, mid-April, for example. Everything starts coming out just after the 20th. Generally, the biggest updates, the indicative ones, usually come out around the 23rd or 25th of the month. And usually, that's when they hit the news. Like Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. And I think that could very well be the case this time. And I hope they'll put up a banner, because if they take it down without a banner, that would be a big deal for everyone. But I still want to somehow, capitalize on this upheaval when they see it's their last chance, all this stuff. To actively capitalize on it, because they also remember that our internet journalism is still moving, and that could have an impact. And I think the developers will also try to adapt to this because, as I said, we'll be essentially delivering merchandise as early as May, since the Mir event starts in early summer. They could deliver merchandise 2 or 3 weeks before the tournament, as happened with recent tournaments. It's no longer such a joke to deliver merchandise 1 or 2 days before the tournament, although, who knows, maybe that will happen again this year. Although I wouldn't really want that. But the reality is that the panic mongers are, so to speak, simply putting everything on hold and screwing up the price in many places. But then again, it depends on the individual. For those who have balance, everything is fine. For those who have items, it's worse. But in reality, the panic mongers are just rocking the boat, and they're apparently itching to sell all this stuff they've been holding onto for years, and now they can't wait 2 or 3 weeks. And you could say that the developers themselves, I'm saying, probably messed up a bit under the deadline, and that's how it all turned out. Or maybe there was some real situation with the skins, because it was strange to give deadlines that will definitely choose you and select you by this part. But in reality, maybe some hidden pitfalls and problems were revealed. Because I think things like that always pop up, yes, and that's how it always happened, that they just missed those moments. But that's purely my opinion. But for some reason, I'm waiting and believing, and I'll repeat again right after the 20th, even if you look at the calendar. For some reason, I think the update could come out on the 23rd, 24th, 25th. So we'll see about that. This is, of course, a stream for the CIS if you count the 22nd, 23rd, 24th updates for America. That is 1 day ago, as in fact, a regular update in Alphabet. So this is how our situation is now regarding that shaking. Maybe I calmed you down somewhere. Maybe you yourself will express in the comments what you think about this part, how you personally are handling it. It will all be interesting to read too. Like it, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to watch my previous videos and support them with your activity too. Thanks for being there.